Hello, hello, am I audible? Hello, hello, hello. Am I audible now? Hello, 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 hello. Yeah, okay. So, first of all, hi all, and welcome to this live streaming of Python programming. And as we met yesterday on video as well, my name is Keval Shah, and I'm going to conduct this live streaming on Python programming. And we'll see what are the phases of Python and all. So before we start with the live streaming, I want you to introduce to the company which I gave a startup a year back almost, named Edu-Mark India. Edu-Mark India was a very small marketing company which I had gave a start, and this company used to manage the marketing stuff for individual companies and all. Now, as we came forward after 1 year down the line, almost in the month of April and May, we saw that it was a lockdown situations where people are upbringing their skills and their importance which they want to build up in the market value. So we are coming over here in this picture where people used to spend hundreds and thousands of currencies on their educations, programming languages, and other topics. So we came over here and we said that we will help you to engage with your skills. We will help you to engross with your skills, and we will help you also to flourish your skills to some extent. So in the month of April and May, we started developing the course on Python with one of our very favorite instructor. And we came across and we got a tie-up, we got the opportunity to tie up with Udemy. So we got tied with the Udemy and we got the platform where we flourished ourselves to almost 170 plus countries. And you all people, you all viewers and the students of mine gave me a lot of encourage, a lot of love. So we almost crossed within that 72 hours, almost 10,000 enrollments just in 3 days. Then slowly, gradually, we build up more. We came with the second course and also now Edu-Mark family stands with almost 20 plus employees and 20 plus coders and developers team. And along with it, we also have now more than 43,000 students across the globe. Slowly and gradually, the demand increased and we came up with much more good news and all. So as this live stream was not only restricted to make you learn this thing, but also to share some good news with you. Now Edu-Mark India is not restricted to Udemy. It's not now restricted to YouTube. Now sooner also we are going to come with one of the top 500 websites across the globe with tutorials point very soon. So this was the good news which I wanted to share sooner, which I said you yesterday. And still we are flourishing more. We want that more people engage with us to share their skills, to get trained and to earn more opportunities. So this was the goal of Edu-Mark India when we started almost a year before. So let us start with the concept of Python. Now, why do we learn Python? The biggest question which comes in our mind. Python being one of the most prominently used, one of the most drastic change to the technology which gave. In the year of 1980s, it came to the environment. And Python was the only language currently in the situation where 60 to 70% software engineers are tend to losing their jobs because they are not familiar with this language. As we know that AI and all this thing has came into the market where artificial intelligence plays a vital role, where people are getting engaged with technology, people are using technologies for their daily needs. So we came across the language called as Python. Python is not the latest language which we are seeing currently. It's almost 20 years back language, but it came into limelight because of its web development features, its AI features, machine learning features, where you can create robotics, where you can create and use this language with Raspberry Pi concepts, where you can create robotics and various other things. So let us see a brief explanation about Python. So we are over here to learn Python programming from beginning with me, Keval Shah, the founder of Edu-Mark India. So what this topic will cover: what is Python, history of Python, how to create a Python lab. There are many people who are not familiar with the concept of Python yet. They want that Python should be one of their most favorite and one of the most energetic programming language. So we will see exactly what this Python will do, what we can do more in Python along with it. So we'll create a Python lab. This Python lab can be created not only using your desktop or the laptop. I will also share the link to you that how you can actually create Python lab using your mobile phone as well. We'll learn about data types, operators, precedence, Java versus Python, a small comparison that how does it work. We'll also see that what are the keywords. Now each and every programming languages is depending upon the keywords which we use, which we say. Then we have symbols like brackets and colons, what these importance having into it. Then we have functions, loops, dictionaries. If I list out this thing, this is a backend part. This is something which is used at the backend. This is a mini program which you are going to create. You will be learning file handling, exception handling, regular expression, conditioning and all. So this is the part 1 lecture which you are going to create. Part 2 will be based on advanced creation like GUI, database connectivity, socket creation and networking, which is a little bit advanced. For that you need to know at least basics of Python. So next we have is what is Python. Python is an interpreted high-level programming language. Interpreted. Basically, there are two various kinds of translation performed in your programming languages: compiler and interpreter. Interpreter is something which helps you to interpret the language. That means it one by one, it will translate the languages. So we are using over here that how this particular interpretation is happening. So for example, if I write a one line of code, okay, so and I try to execute the same thing, so I will say one by one. That is, for example, if I gave one printing statement to print something on my screen, then I give some conditions and all these things, so it will be executing one by one. Yes, so now the second part is basically we are going to have a high level and general purpose programming language. High level, something which is very much understandable by the user. Basically, when we read the sentences, we always think that when I say programming language, it's almost restricted to binary numbers like zeros and ones. But when languages like Java, Python, these all came into the market, they flourish, they change the thought process of each and every developer. High level language is something which we use, which we write normally, like the alphabets, the words which we use nowadays, the normal words which we use. For example, if I say if, it's a word. So as I said, interpreter is something which interprets, which translates the language. For example, we write something over here, we say print. I want to print some lines, so I will say print some statement. So I say that thing, and I also type the same way in Python programming languages. But what it does, it basically changes into the machine learning, where a machine can understand the language, change it to machine language, which is binary number like zeros and ones. So interpreter and compiler, which translates the language, which is known as the translator of programming languages, is performed. We translate, we run the program at that time. So we translate that particular stuff into the next part. So let us see what's next. History of Python. Python was conceived in almost late 1980s by Guido van Rossum at Centrum Wiskunde and Informatica, that is CWI, in the Netherlands as a successor of ABC language. Python 2.0 was released in 16th October 2000. As I said that Python was almost 2 decades back, almost 20 years back language. Right? So this is how the Python came into the market, how it started flourishing the topic worldwide. Then we have is Python 3.0 was released on 3rd December 2008. It was the major revision of language that is not completely backward compatible. Many of its major features were backported to Python 2.6x and 2.7x. In Python 2.7's end of life phase was came in 2015, and directly in 2020, Python came with the concept called as Python 3. One of the most latest version which helps you to work with servers, website development, mobile apps, and each and everything. These are the features of Python. So basically, as I said, Python is very vast, very latest language. Okay, so open source, it's open source, like you can see its source code, you can see its standard library. It is free from royalties. There is no charge to download Python and use it. You can easily distribute it, you can modify it, you can write your own code, and you can encache it in your, you can distribute further to your clients. It has features of exception handling where you can handle the errors. Exception means errors, which you will see in the further topics as well. Then you can do advanced coding. As I said, you can do website development and all. Then you have automatic memory management. Now you can use this Python to basically automate your memory storage capacities. Like there is no need to rewrite each and every code for your program to, just to flush out the memory space, like to just remove your unwanted space or temporary space from your RAM. It does it automatically. It's easy to learn and understand. As I said, it's a high level programming language that's very easy to understand for us humans. It is readable because it is easy to learn. And it's cross platform. As I said, I will teach you how to use on your mobile phones. I will teach you how to use on your laptops and desktops. And OS means, as we know, operating system, like your Windows, Mac, Android, Linux, and various other. So first of all, we will do the lab setting. That is basically how you can set up the lab. For that, you just require a device and the internet connectivity. And those who are using their mobile cell phones or their tabs, which do not have basic requirements like Windows or Mac, for them, I will mention over here the link how they can use it. Okay, so let's start. So first thing I require, I have to go to the internet. So I'll just go to the internet. I have over here. As you can see, this is my streaming page. So I'll just go to google.com. In this, I will say Python download. As soon as I say over here Python download, I will say related to Windows. In this, if I scroll down, I get the option, as I said you, the latest release was Python 3.8. That is version 3, Python 3. So we are going to use over here the Python 3 version. It's getting downloaded over here. I will also post this link for those who are basically using their cell phones and something like that. I'll just copy the link address and I will paste it in the chat for you. So I've posted the link over here. If you want, you can refer that as well. So once I complete downloading, I'll click on Python. I'll close this thing. It gives me the facility that install now in a customized way. So I will just use the default method which I have. Accept the permissions and all, and it will start. And I will also put the link that how you can use this Python programming into your mobile phones. So I'm mentioning the link over here that how you can use Python programming with your mobiles. It takes some time to just install. So once it is done, it says setup successful. So what I will do, I'll close this and I'll just go here and type IDLE, that is Python idle. Yes, if you have Python 3.6, it's okay. Python 3.6 was one of the most stable version of Python in Python 3. It's okay if you use that. So I will just check over here. I have the Python available over here. Right, so I'll open Python idle. So once we complete this thing, so we'll move further ahead. So I wanted to perform this. We'll wait for some time for the others to do it. So now we'll move ahead. I think so mostly everyone has done. If it's not done, then please see the video and you can try it on later as well. I've also mentioned the link. Till that time you can work on that link as well. It's a live Python website editor. So basically let us see about the data types of Python. So basically we have the major data type is numbers and string, that is int, float, complex and str. And we have sequentials as list, tuple and range, and mapping dictionary as like mapping type is dictionary. So I will see one by one. String, it is collection of characters. For example, if I'm saying something, I'm saying a sentence, the word which I'm saying is a string. When I say hi, how are you, that entire sentence is a string. When I say hi or just hi, it's also a string. Something which has alphabets into them are also called as strings. Then we have numeric type as int, float and complex. The one who have already passed out, like almost they have done 8th or 9th grade, they must be knowing what is complex numbers. The one which we denote with I or j, 4i plus 3j, something like that. So in that case we use complex. Then we have float. Now we all know that we always get stuck or we are always fascinated about the concept called as decimals. 3.14, the favorite pi value which we get. It's a float because it has a decimal point into them. So that's a float. So basically any decimal number, whether it be 0.0001 or it be 9000.01 or 9000.0 is also considered as a float. Any number, even it's an integer, even it's a complete number without even it has a normal decimal, it is concluded as float. Second we have is int, that is integer. integer data types are something which is very important because those are the non-decimal values. And we tend to use more integers compared to the float number. Many times what people do, they are performing the mathematical calculations and they ask for entering some numbers. So I say that enter 19 plus 20 and I will always get the answer as 39. But if someone asks me that you have to divide almost 9 with 2, so my 9 is my integer, 2 is my integer, but the result which I should get is a float. So that matters a lot, that majorly we people, we developers, we always try to give return type as float. Next we have is sequence types, that is list. For example, we have gone many places, like we go for shopping nowadays, like not nowadays but previously we used to go for the shoppings, right? So we create a list that what we want to buy, right? So we say that I want to buy clothing, I want to buy groceries, I want to buy toys, I want to buy chocolates and ice creams and all, right? So once we buy that thing, we put that in our shopping cart, we used to strike out those things, we should just remove that thing, like we are not, now the work is completed, we don't require that, so we just strike it out. So but in programming language there is no concept of striking it out. Yes, Python has double data types, you can say not exactly, but it has, but we say it as float over here. Double is not used, like double is not there available itself in the Python, but instead of double we use it over here float, right? So we use over here float rather than double. Double is majorly used in Java language, in JavaScript language. So we use over here float. Then we go to sequence step, as I was saying, the list is there. In list, we have seen that majorly we strike out those things when we buy. But in programming languages, we don't have that facility to strike it out. So what we do, we call those elements. Basically, we use list to store the elements over there rather than calling them, or like rather than removing them or to discard them. It's not like the way that you cannot remove the elements from the list. You can remove it, but basically we create the list to store some values multiple times, or to store some values to further use. We store some values to use it further in some programs, to perform some logics, to perform some operations. Next we have tuple. Tuple is basically used to accept the parameters. Now parameters in the sense, like if we create something, if I say that I am performing some operation of addition of a number, so in that case I require at least two integers, at least two numbers. That's my at least requirement, that's my parameter, that if this thing are there, then only I can perform this. So that's my tuple. Next we have is range. Range is something which we use with for loop. Like there are some concept called as loops as well, which we'll see further. So I know that as I'm saying few new words, you guys are also getting confusing, like what are these things, and who are from already from the coding background, who know Java and all, for them Python will be one of their best experience because it's most easy language. So we'll go slowly and we will understand it more. So basically we use over a concept called as range. So we can say that I want something between the range of 1 to 10, and I say that print them. So it will print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It will print in number 10, not more than that, not less than that. That's the reason we say range, as the word itself means range. Next we have is dictionary. Dictionary is basically something which is used to store the values in key and value format. For example, if we open our normal Oxford dictionary, which we have at our home, we have seen that there is a word on the left hand side which is written very bold, very thick, and very little bit bigger alphabets. And we have the definitions or their meanings after a colon on the right hand side of it, or just below of it. So we say that this word has some meaning at the bottom, that this is the key and it has a value at the bottom. That's the reason we say as key value format, which is known as dictionary. Now if you can see over here, I have mentioned something. You must be seeing that in sequence data type, I am mentioning brackets wherein range doesn't have it. And in dictionary, we have some curly brackets. Okay, right? So in this case, if we see that list is basically in square bracket. So to denote a list, we use square brackets. Then we use tuple. Tuple is something, as I said, for the accepting the parameters. So we use over here normal round brackets. Then we have range. The fourth part which we have is dictionary. To declare or to assign the dictionary, we have the curly brackets. These curly brackets help us to declare and assign the dictionary. So let us move the next part. We have string to list, right? So as you can see over what is happening over here, I will just show you the execution of this, so it will be more better for you. So as you can see, I have my stuff over here, so I'm ready with the programming part. Right, so I will now see, I'll do Control N, or I can also do new file. So I get this area where I can write the code. But as we are new to this, so rather than going to this programming page, I would suggest you to go to idle, that is a shell. So over here, the first thing I will do, I'll show you how it works. Right, so I will show over here S1. I'm naming the variable as S1. Variable is a concept in programming languages that basically, if I say your name, let us take my name as Kevin. Okay, so if I'm available in my office, right, and someone comes to my office and says that I want someone's help, can someone help me, right? So there's a possibility that from my entire office anyone can go and help, right? But when I go to, like, some person come to me and ask me that, Keval sir, I want your help, can you please help me? So obviously from my entire office, I am the person who has the authority, who has the permission to reply. Why? Because my name was called out, because I was called, right? So basically the same concept comes over here. Variable is nothing else but a name which you give to that particular concept, to particular text, to particular something, right? So what I will do, I'll just magnify a little bit so that you can easily understand. Wait a second. Right, so I think so now you can see my screen a little bit, right? Just a second. Okay, so now I'll just keep it over here, right? So as you can see over here, so this is my command chain. So now I was discussing about the concept of variable. Variable, as I said, it's a name which we give, right? So when I say about the name, I say that someone calls my name, I will respond it, right? But if I go on Facebook or the social media, if I go any on social media, right, and I type my just type my first name over there, that's Keval, Kewal, I will get hell of people who have the same name. Yeah, but their photos can be different, their appearance can be different, their surnames might be different, their middle name might be different. The concept changes over there. Variable is something which can be or changed its value. For example, if I say that my name is Keval Dhiren Shah, right? So if I go on Google or if I go on Facebook and I write my entire name, that is Kewal space Dhiren space Shah. So obviously there must be only one or two people by the same name. That also coincidentally, right? So in that case, obviously it's easy to find me out, and that's my value. And if you just put the algorithm of my face, if you put my face for the searching option, right? So obviously you'll get only one option, that's my official account, right? So in that case, we say that, okay, Keval Dhiren Shah means this particular person. Now, for example, if I go to Google, now we know that Keval can be anyone's name. It can be my name, my neighbor's name, or anyone's name can be, right? So in that case, the values are changed. The person is changed exactly. Face is different, surname is different, parents' name is different. Okay, so the values change over there. These are the values which we are having. This will keep changing, keep repeating. As we say that case sensitive, then no, Python is not as such as case sensitive, right? I'll just show you a small example. S1, right? I'll write over here, welcome to Edu-Mark. Okay, right? Now if I say S1, it will print this thing, right? But if I say proper case sensitiveness, then yes, the values are okay. But when I say to the names or the variable names, yes, there are some naming conventions as well which we have to follow. For example, what happens that if we give a naming convention, what is a naming convention? Some set of rules which your variables has to follow. Like you cannot start the number, like your variable, with a number. You cannot have special characters in your variable. You cannot have spaces. So the variable names are almost same. The naming convention is almost same as you have in Java language. There is not much more difference in them. Yeah, you can use underscore over there. You can give this underline, but we rather not suggest to do that much. Yeah, in that case where you have two common topics and you want to just brush up between, like this is part 1, part 2, part 3, so you can have an underscore over there, but not that much. We don't suggest to use that much. It's rather than create another variable, it's much more suggested. So this we also saw that how we can assign a string. This is the way how we assign the string. So as you saw that strings are double quoted, like they have double quotes on their head, right? So this double quotes means that this is a string. Okay, so now if I say over here that s2 equals to, wait, I will rather than say s1 only, so you'll understand what is a variable. I said the values will change. Now if I write my number, like my favorite number, okay, and I save it. Now if I print s1, if I just write like this way s1, then what will happen, right? So what will happen, basically it will just print 10. You see this, right? So as someone has also asked that start with underscore, is it possible? Let's see that. So I will say over here s1, right, equals to let's write your name, which is showing me again over here reconnecting. Okay, wait, it gave me an error because reconnecting, it's a string. So did you see this thing? These are the errors which we face always. See this, reconnecting is not defined, so basically it's a string. So I will say over here reconnecting, and it works. So you can start with the underscore. See this, right? So as I said, the naming convention says that you cannot start with a space with a number, but you can start with underscore, right? Now again, if I say underscore s1 equals to, and now I write my name, okay, then obviously now if I say underscore s1, so now the print statement will be keval, not reconnecting. Okay, so this is what is exactly about the variables, right? So now what we are going to do, just now we saw an example that how we can work with the string to be converted to the list. So what I will do, I will create one list, okay, and I will say it, basically I'll create one string. So I'll say over here Python, okay, right? So what that particular statement was asking us to do, that if you print s1 square bracket 0, it should print s or something like that, right? So let us see whether this works or not, right? So now over here I will say s1 square bracket 0. Let's see, it says p, right? So this means that this particular stuff, that is my string, can be converted to the list, right? So now if I say that s1 square bracket 10, so obviously there is no option available because it is out of index range. As you can see, it is out of index range because how many characters I have over here? 1 2 3 4 5 6. So I can say at least till 5. If the person does not know what's index, basically index is a number, for example, which is starting from 0. If I say p is my 0, right, then y is my 1, t is my 2, h is my 3, o is my 4, and 5 is my, like, the n. Okay, right? So now let us start with the next part. So we have seen how this is getting converted. So let us see one more example. And I say over here 4. right? Okay, right. So as you can see, I have initialized over here S1 and I have done it, right? So now the next part which we are going to have is, just a second, I'll just remove this minimizer, right? So once we do this thing, then we have string creation, which just now we saw. Okay, now for example, we want to write a paragraph which is of multiple lines, right? And we see that people do use it. So how will that be printed? So how can I print that thing? Okay, so we say that multiple line printing can be performed with triple double quotes. What do I mean? I'll just show you. Open a magnifier, I'll zoom in a little bit. Okay, so you can see, right? Now in this, I say the variable name as RCT, okay, equals to 1, 2, 3, hi, welcome to live stream. Okay, you can see over here, if I press enter, it should start saving the stuff. It's not saving it, it's just asking me to add more sentences. I will say founder is teaching, let's learn for free, and I will close this thing, right? Now if I now as soon as I saw that, as soon as I press triple double quotes, then I press enter, it gave me this shell commander. So now I will say over here RCT, and you can see the entire statement came over here. But you must be noticing that I have not given this /n. What does this mean? Right? So in programming languages like Python, we have a concept of /n, which means that we will be having a new line from here. We will be starting a new line. This particular text will be in the new line. Okay, right? So this is the way how it works. So this is the way how we use triple double quotes. So we have gone through this, right? So I think you guys also want to experiment, right? Do you want to try it? So if you want, you can also try. Okay, so I'll be waiting for you to try almost like it's almost for 5 minutes. I wanted to see how this works and get me through if you have any doubts. Come on. And the guys who are watching right now and have not yet subscribed to my channel or not even like the stream, I would request you to like it and subscribe it as well, because we want to spread our knowledge, we want our nation, we want ourselves to be built much more and develop. So please do subscribe and like to the channel, and please share it to your friends and family as well, because your one single subscription does not cost anything. It's totally free of cost, and we also give in return to you for free. So please do share it. Thank you so much for reconnecting. Actually, I don't know your actual name, but thank you so much. So let us start with the next part. So I think so almost we all have done, right? The next thing we have is accessing character in a string. As I said that we have the concept of indexing number, right? So basically we need to splice this number. Just now if you saw in the live practical which I showed you, I was saying the square bracket and a number. So how was I able to determine the number? How was I able to think of it? Okay, and when I said the number 0, it was just printing P, not anything else, not YTHON. So I was performing the splicing of the alphabet. So over here, as you can see, I have the concept of splicing. Now index number, some people say in Java languages and all that, it is from 0 to nth number, n minus 1 number, sorry. Okay, and basically in Python we have the two-way side. Okay, we can start from 0 till the n minus 1 number, which is very common, but you can also do it from right to left, that is -1, -2, -3, -4, -5 until n number. In this case you have to always make sure it is till n number, that is negative n. And in this particular stuff on the right hand side you have the concept till n minus 1. Okay, so that is slicing of the number, right? So let us see the next part. For example, I'll just show you how the slicing is also appeared. Let us give a try as well. We can do zoom. I'll just keep it over here, right? And I said the sentence RCT, right? So okay, so now in this particular part, just a second, I'll just give some random area. Wait a second, I'll just make it up. Right. So in this particular part, I will be saying that RCT, sorry, RC, okay, I cannot write over there, I forgot that it's a shell. So let's see over here. Oh, wow, thank you so much. So your name is Ash Indian. Okay. So now in this, I will say 0 colon, I will say 4, right? I'll print this. You can say this particular sentence which I gave, that is HI, comma, welcome to live stream. In this, now you can see over the, I said that from 0 to the 4th value, that is H, I, comma, and W. See these 4 values. These 4 values will get printed, right? There is also one more method called as step method. So I will say here RCT, okay, square bracket 0 colon 4 colon 2. Okay, and see what does it print. It just print hi and a comma. Why? Because if you can see, it's just printing the even numbers, sorry, the alternatives to be precise. H is printed, no I, then comma is printed, no W. Can you see that? I'll just show you how will it appear. Okay, so you're from California. Okay, thank you so much for joining, right? So now for example, I will say over here a colon, okay, not any values. As you can see, I'm saying not giving any values over here, right? Then again I will give colon and I will directly write the stepping. So I want only alternatives to be printed from the sentence, and now press enter. Can you see what is getting printed over here? The alternates are getting printed. So this is the concept known as slicing. This is how it is performed, right? So the next part we have over here is the, as we're done with the slicing and all, move to the next part. That is, as you have done this, accessing the characters in the Python, that how we can do this thing, right? We have seen the positive and the negative. We've also done the stepping method and this thing, the slicing method as well. And this is the second alternative program which we are thinking of. So this is also done. So let us move to the next part. That is deletion in a string. For example, I have created so many stuff, right? And I want to delete that thing. For example, I'll just go over here. I'll show it practically rather than talking. Okay. So I said over S1 and RCT, right? So what I will be doing, I will just say del S1. And I have deleted S1. Now if I say S1 printed, it gives me the error, right? If you think that it's almost a long back we've created an S1, so let's start with the RCT. You can see, I can see the print statement of RCT. Okay, now if I say del RCT, okay, and I press enter, right? So now if I type RCT, obviously it's gonna give me the error because it is not defined, it does not exist at all, right? So this deletion of the statement is also performed using the string method. right? Now for example, as we have deleted the string, so we need to create two more strings, so we can be starting with the concept of concatenation. Now as I said that programming languages are very easy to learn and also a little bit tougher as per the people say. So programming language is not as easy as we think, it's not as hard also. Now for example, we use plus sign, the positive sign in mathematics to accept the or to add the next value. And if you are from a Java background, so you must be knowing that we use plus sign to concatenate the stuff, right? Okay, so same case also goes over here. We use over here plus sign and the star sign, okay, which is little bit weird or little bit tricky to understand as well, right? But in Python language we also use comma, right? So let us do one thing. I will just show you str1 equals to double quotes hello, okay, str2 equals to double quotes buddy, right? And I will now say another variable, that is str3 equals to str1 plus str2 and press enter. Now if I print str3, okay, I get the entire stuff ready over here. Are you getting it? But I have not left any space for the hello, so it says hello buddy together, right? So even there is one more thing which you can do is, when I say print statement in my idle, that is ideal in my development environment, in that time if I say comma, okay, that is also used over here rather than plus. Next part we have, if I want to print some statement again and again, again and again. If people want to contact me for their query and all, so I'm always available on my social media handles. You can mail me as well. If you want, you can note down my email ID as well. But please guys, no more spamming for my mails, because I know that if I give my email ID, people do reach out to me, okay, and they keep spamming me their advertisements. So no spamming on that. But I will also share my email ID for your betterment. Okay, so I'm writing my email ID over here, and we also have the we are available on social media channels as well, right? That is the Instagram, Facebook, everywhere, because as I said that we are from the marketing company, that we used to market a lot for the individual companies, and as soon as we came into the field of technology, we had got many students from uh, many places like Magenta and all, Magenta companies and all. So we have also came from a corporate background, right? So please do not spam a lot of your stuff. You can just ask me your queries, or you can contact me for our next course development and all, right? So basically there's another concept which we are going to do, that is the multiplication sign which we are going to use. You can see over here, right? If I say using multiplication sign, if I say to print some statement multiple times, right? So what effect will it give? I will show you first, and then we will show what is the expected output which you are thinking for. So now I will say over here str1 into 3. Can you see this? Hello, 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 hello. It prints 3 times. Now, if I say str1 equals to double quotes hello space, and then I close this thing. Now, there is one amazing stuff about programming languages. Your each and every element on your keyboard, your each and every button, your each and every symbol which you are seeing on your keyboard, whether it be the small dash or a small quote on the left hand side of your number one, or your exclamation mark, your any kind of marks, your alphabets, your capital letters, the small letters, right? These all are considered in your programming languages. They play a vital role in programming. Okay, now when I say space, it is a value. Space itself is a value, in though it has no such Unicode, no such concept, but yes, even if you give a space, it plays a very much vital role on your representation. As I say over here hello space and I print it, I just store like this. So now if I say str into 3, and I will not str, I'm sorry, the variable name is str1, and I print it. You can see the difference. See the print statement, hello space hello space hello, but again it gives the space. So you have to use that thing very wisely. Okay, so we'll also see how to remove that extra hello as well, or the extra space as well. Okay, right? So let us move to the next part. So I'll just it's very Yeah, okay. Right, then we have is string functions. Okay, so basically what is string functions? Something which your strings can perform. Okay, now when I am writing something, now when we create some smart technological bots or some inventions, okay, the first issue the people do to our program is to they try to temper them, they try to basically fool our programs, they try to test our programs as well. Itself, when we create any website, when we create some stuff for our clients, we have always seen that thing that we always try to exploit that site first phase, so we can get an idea that how much durable that website is. So the basic elements which we do is by changing the strings and ideas. Okay, so the next part which you are going to do is converting string functions. Now for example, as I said that your each and every element on your keyboard, on your keypad, plays a vital role. Your capital letters and the small letters have their different importance, right? They have their different Unicode, their unique code structure which they have normally. Those are very much different. For example, if your A alphabet has two values, 96 and one more value, those are the Unicodes. There are total 128 codes on your keyboard which you press every day, and that also not one time, two time, every time. If I say that I type apple, so in this case my P has the Unicode which is pressed two times. Okay, I have L, I have E, and I have A. So these are my Unicodes which are getting printed again and again, right? So we don't say that we print only once, we print multiple times. Okay, so how that is performed? Syntax where dot function. So how I do it? Where, as we know, it's a variable. Dot function is this what we do. So let us see what we will do. Okay, the first thing I have over here, that is str2. As you can see, it's a small word, so I will show here str. Okay, I'll just zoom in. Sorry guys, so I know that it's a little bit okay. I have another option, I forgot to do this. Options, configure idle, right? And font size, I will try to increase it for you till 20. This is something which will help you to read as well, because I know it's a little bit tricky to understand as well. Now I think it's easy for you. Yes or no guys? Okay, and if you still you face that it's not as visible or as big, please do drop me in the chat. Okay, right, so now I'll say str2 dot, the first one I have is capitalize. Okay, right, so I'll show you capitalize, right? We should always make sure that we write in a proper manner because these are the functions, and I will press enter. You can see in this capitalize, over here I was having the small b, it became the capital B, right? Then I will see the next part which I have, that is lower. Now as we have the capital B, I wanted to make it the lowercase. I don't want the capital letters, I want only small letters. So I will say over here str2 dot lower, and I will press enter. That is, as you can see the statement. Now if I press str is a class, so sorry, so I'll say str2, you can see it is printing the small word, the without, which has no capitalized form. But next we have is upper. So as you have seen the lowercase, you must be getting an idea what will be the uppercase. Okay, so I will just say str2 dot upper, and let's print. You can see this capital B, capital U, capital D, capital D, capital Y, which is being printed over here, right? Then the next part we have is title, right? So it just capitalizes the first word of a sentence. So for that, what I will be doing, I have str3, right? So I'll just change the str3 to some letter, something as I'll write everything in small, so you will be able to easily understand and make out the difference. Hello world. Okay, in this, now if I say str3 dot, okay, and we were using the function called as title, title, and I paste it, you can see my the first word has became the capital of each and every, first alphabet of each and every word has become capital, right? Then the next part we have is swap case. What this will do, I'll just show you. I will just say str3 dot swap case, right? What it has done, it has switched the small letters to the capital as well. Basically what happens that lower cases are getting converted to uppercase and uppercase to the lower case. This is the concept of swap case which happens, right? So I'll just show you. That is str2 which we were using. So I'll show you a swap case and execute. Okay, so basically this also is making the uppercase as well, because it was the lower case and then we converted it as well and again become the lower case. Okay, so it's printing the same thing, right? Then we say replace. Now for example, if I say over here str3 dot replace, what to be replaced, like from the old words to the new words. So now my old word over here I have is word. So as I said, it's a string, so I will say over here word comma to buddy. Okay, give me an error because replace is not defined. Oh, I gave a comma over here, sorry. Yeah, you can see this, my word got replaced with str. Now if I print str3, it says me that str3 is nothing else but hello world. But now if I say this replace statement again, I will copy this part and I will paste it over here. So this is not making a permanent change, this is just making a temporary change. See this. Okay, so the next part which we have is string function, which says that to return the values, that how I want my string to be adjusted, how I want it to be. Okay, so I'll just show you one example over. I'll say str3 dot l just. Okay, there is no space in between, just make sure l just 20. Okay, and I'll press enter, right? So it's just adjusting the string left justified, right? Now if I say str3 dot r just 20, okay, and print it, you can see that it's making it left justified, sorry, right justified. That means it is taking it to the right hand side. Okay, now if I say over here str dot center, now this, check the center spelling over here, center, right? So I'll just center and I will press not str3, right, and done. Okay, at least one argument is required, right? So I'll say str3 dot center 20 like this and press enter. So as you saw, on the left hand side it has left some amount, and on the right hand side also it has left some extra spaces, right? And now if I print str3, it's again back to normal, right? So this changes which you are making, those are just the temporary changes, that does not exactly tampers your main string. Okay, that is my str3, right? The next part which I have is testing string, like whether that string is having alphabet, or whether that string is a digit, or whether that particular stuff is uppercase or lowercase, right? So I will just check whether there is no such concept of digit in this. So I will just say over str3 dot digit, that is I can see over here how it's written is digit. Okay, I'll print it. It says false. Why is it a false? Because it is not having any digits into them, right? Now if I say str3 dot upper, sorry, that is upper, okay, and press enter, right? Again it's a false because it's lowercase, right? Okay, so now this is the way how my testing works in this case. Now if I say str3 dot is lower, okay, and I press enter, it says true. Why? Because my entire sentence is into the lowercase format, not in the uppercase. Okay, right? So I'll just stop over here for a while. I wanted to try it out. Come on, try it out. These are the string functions available on my screen, right? I wanted to try it out. So I'll go back and I want to try out with this. Come on, do it. No, 20 does not represent pixels. There is no such concept called as pixels because pixels are basically used for the GUI purposes, right? So pixels are not used for. These are the default units available. You can say it as spaces as well, like 20 spaces, like 10 on this side, 10 on this side. Okay, so there is no such concept as pixels in this. Okay, these are the normal units which we say, right? So no pixel, that is just the default values in Python language. Those are the spaces, like 10 spaces from here, 10 spaces from here. That's the reason we say 20. So it divides in the exact parts, right? So if you have any doubt, please drop me in the chat as well. I'm just viewing the chats and I will answer them. What if str3 equals to hello, p dot s equals to 0? Wait, like you are saying that instead of hello, that if you say instead of o, if I say 0, right? So p dot s, like what do you want to ask? Like p dot s is equals to 0. Uh, can you just explain me what's your doubt? And it will store the values. It can store the value. If I say str3 equals to, if I write in double quotes, okay, that is HEL0. Okay, as you can see, it's a 0. Right? I print this and I can say str. It's okay, it's printing. Okay, if you do is digit on this, right? So if I say over here s3 str3 dot is digit, majorly it will not respond because it is having string into them. Okay, if it's pure number, it would be just pure number, it was not having any digits into them, then it might work as well. Let us try it like this way. It is 111. I will save it and I will say str2 dot is digit, like this way. It says true because it is having no alphabets over here. It is purely digits. Okay, but as again, it's the same different concept, right? So as I said, that's the reason we use data types over here. Okay, and one more thing, guys. By the end of this project, we will do a small game using Python that will recollect of our childhood as well, like the one which we used to play in our schools. I've already made that video long back on my YouTube channel as well, but I want to do it along with you guys as well. It's one of my favorite games and I love playing it. So I think so. Shall I move? I'm moving ahead, right? And we'll see the next part, right? Because we still have to learn a lot of things more, right? So I'll move ahead. Okay. So now I will be saying over here that is done with this, and this. So now we have done this testing of the string as well, or the characters. Now we have the concept of searching the elements inside this string. Now, for example, we have seen many times that we have a search bar at the top in many web pages or softwares. To be precise, your cell phone itself. Okay, and I go to the context and or the people option in my iOS. Okay, and I start typing the person's initials. That is, for example, write K E W. So it starts finding out the which name has K E W into them, right? So that's the way how it works. Yes, so let's see how does it perform, right? So I will create over here, that is I will say str3 dot, I'll try with the ends with, I'll say over here 0, and I will save it. Okay, basically it's a string, so I forgot to give the double quotes, my bad. So I will say ends with 0. Okay, wait, str3 does not ends with 0. No attribute. Str object has no such attribute. Okay, wait, str3 dot ANDSWITH. Can you see this? There are no capital letters in this, so it is just small ENDSWITH, and I say it should end with 0. So it is true that it ends with 0. Okay. The next part which I have is if I say str3 dot ends with K. Okay, and I print it, so it says false. So these are the Boolean values which we get, right? So this is the way how it works. um, right, so basically is digit means that every value inside, every element inside this string should be digit. Then we have what for decimals, like what for decimals, yes, it will work as well. Is digit means any numeric which should not have any of your 52 alphabets, that is 26 lowercase and 26 uppercase, not exactly 52 but 26 plus 26 lowercase and uppercase. It will work for decimals as well. Okay, now I have done with the ends with as well, so now we'll start with the start with. str3, I will say starts with. Now basically I will say not this much, I will now say HEL. I gave an entire one almost word. Okay, and I'll execute. It says true. But now if I say str3 dot starts with EL, it says me false. So now what we should do, right? So what we are going to do, we are going to see what's the next part, how we can find it out. Okay, so I will say now str3 dot find L, and I will print it. It says that there are two appearance, two times. Okay, right, and the first index value which we have over here is HELL. So in that time, the first time it is getting appeared is at 2's place. It prints basically the index number. Okay, now if I say str3 dot find, and I say over here 0, and I print it. It says that it is at index number 4. Okay, so for example, if I print str3 and I can count over here, the first one I got the first L at number 2, so 0 1 2, right? If I say 0, then it will be 0 1 2 3 and 4. So it's right. That means it throws me the index value of the element from the entire string. Next we have is count. That means number of occurrences it has almost. Okay, right? So let us see the number of occurrences. So I'll go over here and I'll say str3 dot count. You can see I'm getting the option as well. So now I will say count double quotes L. I'll press enter. It says that it appears 2 times. Now if I go again over here, take this and print it, and I say over here E, and I print it. It says that it occurs only 1 time. Okay. The next step which I have is operators and operands. As you can see over here, we have the option called as arithmetic operators, relation operators, assignment, logical, membership, identity, and bitwise. Okay. Now what exactly this mean? I will explain you that as well in detail. Okay. So the first part which we have is arithmetic operator. Now in schools and in our normal daily routines, which we do is arithmetic operator, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Okay, so these are the basic stuff which we do, that is known as arithmetic operators, to find remainder. Okay, these are the arithmetic operators. Second we have is a relation operator, that is something which we relate with someone. Okay, relation in the sense like if this is greater than or less than. Okay, if this is uh, like equals to or not, if it is greater than or not, it's less than or not, if I say that 10 is greater than 20 or not. Okay, so in that case we put that operator like to determine the condition basically. Then we have is assignment operator. Now if you just now saw that the very first part I do is str equals to double quotes. So in that case, that equals to which you saw was an assignment operator where we assign the elements. Now we have various kinds in that as well, equals to, not equals to, determining and determining the all the variables and all, like whether they have it or not. Okay, so that's the work of assignment operator, to check whether the stuff assigned is there or not, right? Then we have is logical operator. Now as I said, programming is almost part of logic, that how we perform the logic, what we do inside the logic and everything. So we have here logical operator. Logical operator is nothing else, basically something which is puts the logic into it, like and, or, and not. So there are only 3 types: and, or, and not. Okay. Now let us see what are these do. Now for example, if I want to buy a chocolate, okay, and I want to buy chocolate related to, I want, basically I like chocolates and I want basically dark chocolate. Okay, so I go to my nearby shop and I ask that shopkeeper that, uncle, I want chocolate. So uncle says yes. So my first condition is satisfied, that I want a chocolate. Second part was that it should be dark chocolate. So I say uncle that, uncle, do you have dark chocolate? Uncle say no. Obviously when I'm paying something for and I won't buy the dark, I won't buy I will buy basically the dark chocolate, then why should I go for the any other type of like normal chocolate or the white chocolate? So I kept over the condition, that is and. So I want a chocolate and also dark chocolate. Okay, then we have is a or operator. Or operator in the sense like which is known as optional operator. For example, if I go to the shop and I say that, uncle, do you have chocolate? Uncle says yes, I have a chocolate. And then I ask uncle, do you have dark chocolate? So uncle says no, I have white chocolate available, not the dark chocolate. Okay, but I just wanted to eat chocolate, whether it be any color, any texture, anything, right? So no racism for the chocolates, okay, because we all love chocolates and we enjoy, we love enjoying, whether it be any age people, so we love it. Okay, so I'll say over that yes, it's okay, give me at least a chocolate, it's okay, whether it's a white or a black or a dark, it's okay. So I take that chocolate and I have it, right? So in that case I have kept option, right? If black is or the dark chocolate is not there, okay, which is almost like a very thick brown color, and we get the white chocolate in that case, it's okay, right? Because we are interested to have chocolate, because my at least one condition was getting satisfied. If my both the conditions were not getting satisfied, for example, if I go to the uncle and ask, uncle, do you have chocolate? Uncle says no. Dark chocolate? No. White chocolate? No. So obviously I'm not going to buy that thing because the uncle is only not having it or the shopkeeper is not having it, right? Then we have is a membership operator. Membership operator is something which determines whether that particular element is available inside that or not. In that we use membership operator as in and not in. Membership operator and identity operators are almost same. They both have the same values. They determine whether the particular element is inside or not. Then we have is bitwise operator, where we use the bit values, that is zeros and ones, whether we get the output as zeros or ones, right? So we use over that is known as bitwise, as we know that binary number itself has the bit, that is zeros and ones. Okay. Then we have as one more operator which is not mentioned over, that is known as Boolean. Basically, Boolean values gives you the result in true or false. Just now we saw in the practical as well that it says me over here true, false, true, false, right? So it prints me basically the Boolean values which works, right? Okay. Then okay, so wait a second, I'll just adjust the slide of volume so you can also see and hear me. Okay, now I think it's easy for you guys. Okay, now the next part, I said that identity operator, my membership operator are almost same. Okay, so before we go to this particular part and we try to understand how does it work, I'll show you the other operators, how those works. Now if I say over here that a equals to 10 and b equals to 98 or 97, okay, now if I say a plus b, it's always going to say me 107. If I say a minus b, it says me, okay, obviously my 97 was a bigger number, so it says minus 87. If I say a into b, it says me 970, and if I say b divided by a, it says me 9.7. Okay, so this is my arithmetic operator. Now if I say that a less than b, it says true, a is lesser than b. If I say b less than a, it says false, that because my b value is 97 and my a value is basically 10. Now in this case, if I say a less than or equal to b, it says true, unless it is less than or equal to, right? That's the reason it says true. Okay, then we have as we have seen this assignment operator already, there is no need to explain on assignment operator. Then we have over here logical operator, which we have done, right? We have done the arithmetic, we have done assignment, logical, membership is left. So I will say that 10 in a, oh sorry, argument of type int is not iterable. So this basically works with the string. Okay, so when I use membership operator, it says that whether this element is available in that or not. Okay, so that's my n and not in operator, right? Then bitwise, it's not that much used, but we will see further as we start using it as well. Okay, so we have over here something which is related to something which is known as identity operator or membership operator. Is not is the element. So yes, I say that it returns true if two variable points the same object and false otherwise. Basically, it returns me true if my two variables point at the same particular object. When those are the pointing, when those are dictating, or when those are resembling the same object, then I say that it's true. Otherwise, it's not true. Okay. Then we have decision making with live project. Okay, put any condition we want or any specific statement to be executed at any specific instance and how it can be. So let us do a small program. We will be taking those three inputs from the user and we will determine which number is greater compared to them. Okay, so what I will do, I will open the Python shell, I will go to new file and I will print the new file. In this thing, the first thing I will do is n1, n2, n3. So we're going to take the three inputs from the user. These are the variable names. I will start giving them equals to. In this first part, I will say int input, enter the first name, sorry, first digit, and make sure to close all the brackets, right? I'll just copy this thing, paste it. I'll see over here second and third, and I'll print it. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm saying the print the largest number along them. So I will give the condition that is if. Right? As I said, Python is a high-level programming language, so the words which you will read will resemble something in your mind. So say that if n1 is greater than, okay, n2, and n1 is n3, then I will say that print uh, first number. Okay, I'll say comma. As I said, I can use comma over here, and I will say n1. Right, and as I said, there is no concept of curly brackets in this, so I'll come back. There's a concept of indentation. Then I will say elif, not else if, like Java languages we have here elif. In elif I will say n2 greater than n1 and n2 greater than n3. Then I'll just take this part and I will say that number 2 is greater. So this will be my part 2. Second number is this one, right? And if none of this condition is getting satisfied, then I will say directly that n3, that is third, third part is greater. And I'll save this thing, so I'll go to my desktop and save it as YT live. Okay, and I save this. Now I'll go to the run section and I will run the module. As soon as I run, it asks me for my first digit, so I will mention over here 10, second digit 20, third digit 3. So the second number is the greater number, it says 20 is the greater number. So did you notice this thing? How does it work? Right, I'll just shrink this thing so you can also try it on your side. I want you to try it out. Come on. Okay, sorry, so my OBS studio got disconnected and again it's connected, so you might be facing some buffering and all. Just a second. Okay, so now I will be saying over here that to print any particular table of any number. So I will say that for I in range 10 times. Okay, then in this I will say that to print the statement as wait a second, I will say n1 comma double quotes x comma double quotes not I, then comma double quotes equals to, and again a comma, and I will say n1, that is n1, not n1. I'll perform over the operation, so I will say n1 into I, and I'll come over here. Okay, and I'll start execution of this. So I'll save it. It asks me the digit, so I say 5. You can see it gave me the values from 0 till 9, but I don't want till 0 to 9. So what I will do, I will say 0 comma 11, save and execute. I will say 5 times. You see this thing that it's execution till 0 till 10, because I said I will start from 0 and go until the 11th value, the 11th time. But in this case, now if I go here and I say 1 comma 11 and I save it and I execute it, right, I say 5, you can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, so this is the way how it works. So we have here 5 into 1, 5 into 2, 5 into 3, 5 into 4, 5 into 5 till 5 into 10. So this is the concept of for loop which we have, right? Similarly, we have the while loop as well. So what I will do, I will also try to do the same project. Let us merge this thing with a mega project. So why don't we try out with a prime number? So what we will be doing, we will say to the user very courteously that enter the input. So I'll say int input double quotes. In this, now I will say enter the number to determine. Now in this, I will say that flag equals to true. Okay, let me just give this capital T, right? Then I say over here that for loop for I in 2 comma and 1. Okay, now obviously the prime number concept is in such a way that any number is prime if it is basically any number can be divided, or any number can be, okay, just a second, I think so now you guys can hear me clearly. So basically the concept of prime numbers is such a way that the number which is divisible only and only by its own number or by 1. So if I say over here 1, then that was not making any sense, right? That to start any number with the 1 and I put the condition that it should perform, it will not work. Okay, so what I have done over here, I say that to start with number 2 and it will go until the number n1. Now as we saw that when I was saying over the number as 10, it was just printing from 0 to 9. That means it is just printing the one lesser value. So in this case I am saying till n1. Okay, then I will say over here if n1 percentage I equals to, okay, I give the colon over here again because we need to write the stuff. So I will say 0. Okay, just a second. Then I will say flag equals to false, and I will say over here break, and I'll come as soon as I write break, I come out of the if loop, I'll come out of the for loop, and over here I will say that if my flag equals to true, okay, then I will say print as number is prime, else it will print that number is not prime. and I save this. Then I will start execution. So as soon as I execute, it says me to enter the number. So let us try the number as 91. It says that number is if not prime. Okay, that means my number is not prime. So now let us try again and to determine the next value. So now if I say that whether my number is prime or not, so let us think of some prime number, 23. So I will say over here 23. It says that number is prime, right? So this is how it works. This how it performs. This is the way how it is done. So my number is prime. Okay, when I say 23, my number is prime. When I say 91, my number was not prime. So this was the complex one which we have done right now. That is the number is prime or not. Okay, so as you can see in this, I have used the loop. Okay, I have the conditioning statements, and I have introduced the new concept called as break. The one which you are seeing in orange alphabets in my screen, those are the keywords. Okay, so these are the words which we use nowadays, very common in life or daily routine: if, true, false, break, else. Okay, and the one which you see in green color, those are the strings, and even the purple one are also the keywords. Okay, so these are not, it's not like that those are not the keyword, these are also the keywords, right? So now we'll start with the next part. So let us buckle up. Okay, so now I will be saying over here function. Now what is exactly a function? Function is something which is used to uh, predefine or pre-write the code for multiple times. So for example, if I declare a function, and function is something which is need to be, it's basically a block of code which needs to be called to be executed. So I can pass any particular amount of data, and those data are known as parameters into a function. So you can pass the data as parameters, or parameters are something which, example, if I say that I want to print average of total 4 subjects, so in that case I require total 4 functions. The 4 parameters, not 4 functions, but 4 parameters in one function. So I can find it out, its average. Function can return data as well as the result. Okay, so let us, as I said, the program itself, we are going to take 4 inputs from the user, and we will try to basically execute the same thing. We'll try to see that how this thing works. So the first thing I do, I show here def. Def means defining. I'm defining the function over here, right? Okay, right? Then over here, as when I say def, now I will be saying the function name. So I will say avg bracket open x y. Okay, I will say w comma x comma y comma z, and I press enter. Now what I will do, I will now create an variable. So in this I will say total equals to x plus y plus z plus w. Okay, right? You can also use this sum as well, but I'm using over the simple method so that you guys can understand. So I'm saying over here total. Okay, so my total value is stored over here. Okay, then I say that avgm, that's average marks, equals to total divide by 4. I print it. Okay, and I say to return avgm, and come out of this. So now I can start the user's input. So I will say here n1, n2, n3, and 4. And this, now I will say equals to equals to equals to equals to. And thus now I will be saying that int sorry, like this way, int. Okay, now in this case a person might get a decimal value. So what I will do, I will say float input. I'll have a habit to open and close the bracket together. So now in this I will say enter first value. Then in this I'll go over here, save it, and I will say enter the second value. Then the third one will be third value, and the last one is going to be the fourth value. Okay, so this is the way how it works, right? Then in this, now I want to perform the function, so I will say print. Okay, in this I will say avg bracket open close. In this I will say n1 comma n2 comma n3 comma n4, and I will save it and I execute this. It's asking me the first value, so I remember the marks, 98, 96, 94 and 97. Okay, it says that average is 96.25. Can you see this? So I just called the function in this, I just said avg, and I said that to return the value as avgm. That's my basically the total value. Okay, so this is the way how I can find the average of any particular number, right? So this is the way how it works. This is the way how it basically implements and takes the value, right? So this is the concept of the function. So these are the user defined functions. As we saw, there are some library functions which we just now saw, the string functions and all. Now these are the user defined function where users tend to define their own function with their own parameters and you can use it over here. Okay, so these are my user defined functions, right? Now the next part which I have is something related to dictionaries. Now as I said you that dictionary itself is in the format of key value format, where you can use the key, you can use the values, and you can print the structures. Okay, so in this particular part where I have the dictionary, I will be using it over here in the case of curly brackets. So I will discard this code and I will say, normally I will say, so I will say di for the dictionary equals to double quotes like the curly brackets, and in this I'll just give some extra spaces and I will say that me, like this way. Here I give a comma, again double quotes. In this I will say country, colon double quotes, India. Okay, and I have said the statement. Now I will just say print di and I save this. Okay, and I run this program. So as I run, you can see the value how it's getting printed. Okay, so this is the dictionary how it works. So these are my key value format, how it responds, how it works basically. Okay, so this is the way how it performs the structure. This is the way how it works, right? So why do we use dictionary? So basically there are some methods available in the dictionary like clear, copy, from keys, get, items, key, pop item, set default, update, and values. So basically what they do, I will mention them one by one. So clear removes all the elements from the dictionary. Copy returns the copy of dictionary. For example, if I say in this part as di2 dot copy di, and I save it and execute. Oh wait, di2 is not defined, my bad. Saved. Okay, di2 needs to be defined, sorry. So wait a second, di2 equals to curly bracket, saved, and execute. Copy takes no arguments, so remove this, dot copy, and execute. Okay, so when I say the copy syntax, it just copies the element, okay, wherever it is. Once this copying is done, it's saved into the basic clipboard structures which we have inside your programming language, not on this clipboard, inside your normal programming language. Okay, so when I say that to use the copy, okay, it means that returns a copy of a dictionary, not the original dictionary. Okay, from keys returns a dictionary with a specific key and a value. Then we have dot gets return the value of a specified key, right? So what I will do, let's wait for a while. Okay, I wanted to implement on this, right? And after like it's on, after I'll meet again back after 5 minutes. Okay, so that you can try it out. Come on.